my name is Rob and welcome to Metal Monthly. This is a video series where we talk about everything that happened in metal music over the last month. So, what happened in November? Let's get into it. Wait, one sec. Now let's get into it. First, as always, is the albums. What albums were released in November? First off, 96 Bitter Beings, Synergy Restored. Now, I was like, oh, they're the guys who had that song in TeknoAXE Pro Skater 3. No, that's 96 Quite Bitter Beings by CKY. So this is the new band of the founder and frontman of CKY. So this album is quite light on the heavy metal, it's honestly closer to rock. It's got some nice vocals, some nice guitar solos. They do take some chances with some distorted sound and some slightly heavier stuff, but generally it's more of a rock album. The music was good to listen to, but it wasn't very headbangy. Also, it didn't really have any earworms. There were no catchy songs that I found myself singing after I listened to it. Like, it was decent, but it's not an album I'm going to get obsessed with. Next up, Devin Townsend with Lightwork. I mean, it's Devin Townsend. Now, this was a lot lighter than I was expecting, but it is a beautiful, conceptual, nearly 2-hour-long album. It's very melodic and light, with some heavier stuff mixed in as well. It was really good. It's a good 2 hours of your life, but you're not going to hear it on the radio. So after last year he released Puzzle and Snuggles, and now Lightwork, all of which are very light albums. I do wonder if Devin Townsend is moving in a lighter direction. Well, I say moving, that's 3 albums he's released that are quite light. I'd say he's moved. Next up, Disturbed with Divisive. Is this going to be as divisive as their cover of Sound of Silence? And by divisive, I mean that everybody loves it and I despise it as a song. What was wrong with the original? It was great, you didn't need to cover it and ruin it. Anyway, this album was great. They are on form right now. The driving drums, the rough vocals, it was a really good album to listen to. It's a slow headbanger album, I would say, which is definitely up my street. Really enjoyed this, and it's even got some catchier songs that I did find myself singing afterwards. Next up we have Nickelback with Get Rollin'. How did they get on here? I'll tell you how they got on here, because this album is much, much heavier than I was expecting. I think they have made a distinct choice to move away from the lighter rock of How You Remind Me and Rockstar. This album actually reminded me of much heavier Americana bands like Clutch. So I looked into it and Mike Kroger said he does want the band to move into a heavier direction, and basically he wants to do an entire album of Slayer covers, which would be awesome. On the whole, I think people are generally bored of the Nickelback are bad joke. And if that's you, then I really think you should listen to this album, because I really think you're going to be genuinely happily surprised. And now we have the fun entry. Every month I like to listen to an album just because I like the name of the band. So this is Prophecy is the Mold in Which History is Poured by Aurora Borealis. So the album opened with some very distorted speech that I genuinely couldn't hear. I think it was speech. Honestly, it could have been a distorted cat's fart. And I was pleasantly surprised to find that the album is black metal and not a joke Simpsons metal band like Oakley Dokley. Now, I like Oakley Dokley, but like, I'm really glad that I listened to black metal instead of them again. So the album had fast, distorted guitar, weird vocals, and fucked up time signatures, and I really, really enjoyed it. Hard to sing along to, but great to headbang to until you give yourself a concussion. So next up is musician deaths. This is where we remember and honour the metal musicians who have passed away over the last month. At the time of recording, there have been 2 metal musicians who have passed away. On November the 6th, Daniel Fawcett, former guitarist of Helix, passed away at the age of 52. And on November the 8th, Dan McCafferty, former vocalist of Nazareth, passed away at the age of 76. My condolences to both of their families. Next up is Music Festival Explorer. This is my website where I talk about music festivals and heavy metal and music in general. In the past month, I have written a blog post about why encores are even a thing, the history of them, why do they still exist, and generally just complaining because I don't really like encores. Anyway, there's a link in the description. Check it out if you're interested. And finally, we have the fun stories from November. So first off, the vegetarian food company Holy Veggie has created a new advert based on the idea of feeding a non-vegetarian person vegetarian food, with them thinking that it's meat, and then afterwards saying, haha, you just like vegetables. This sounds like an advert. I'm not being paid for this. So the point is they did this advert and then they added a heavy metal backing to it, which was totally unnecessary, but really worked, and I really liked it, and it got stuck in my head all day.
He's an apoplectic shark, his reality's a lie.
There is also the story of Elon Musk being sued for $56 billion by a thrash metal drummer. However, I read into this And it's a very boring story about him being an investor in Tesla and saying that Elon Musk cheated him out of something, and he wants basically all of Elon Musk's money to go to all the investors, not just him. Basically, it's got nothing to do with anything heavy metal, except the guy suing him was once in a thrash metal band as a drummer. That's it. He's not even in it anymore. Anyway, I still support the guy. I hope he wins, because it'd be really funny to me to see Elon Musk go from the richest guy in the world to literally penniless. I just think that'd be funny. And that is everything I have for you today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you've listened to any of the albums I mentioned earlier, let me know in the comments. If you've liked this video, please do click like and subscribe. It helps me out. Otherwise, my name is Rob. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon.